Mm,
Okay, so let's start then.
okay.
Now, you might remember that we were talking the last session about describing the causes of falls.
Uh-huh.
And one of the examples that were given by the book was
Uh-huh.
about airplanes, aircraft. So
Yes. Uh-huh.
we talked about an Airbus, I think it was a plane A330,
Uh-huh.
the one that we read about an article, and we sort out the phrase, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of the typical phrases that they use when, of course, there's a problem in the aircraft. So
Mm-hmm.
during this part of the unit, as it demands in here, we describe, that's our only activity or only job in here, to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to describe something. I mean, to describe the problem and the
Mm-hmm.
causes of that problem. So we thought something as cause and consequence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we describe them. And well, you might remember that. And what I told you about this one was a language note, the useful vocabulary, like undersize, malfunction, insufficient, and stuff like that. And we also work with these four vocabulary extras like hydraulic pipe, the fuel line, the rupture, and gliding. Okay.
Like.
So that was the working in here. So in our book, page 42, we have the exercise in here,
Exactly.
and they are talking about an Airbus A330.
Okay.
You might remember that this was the problem is in this little article on the right side. It says the true story of the Air
Mm-hmm.
Transit Flight 236, and it was the Airbus 330. And it says that an incorrect hydraulic pipe was fitted to the right hand engine, and
Mm-hmm.
that it says what were the initial unseen consequences? Well, it has a rivet, okay, a rubber between the fuel line and
Mm-hmm.
the it was I don't remember the other one. What was the piece? The fuel line and the what was it?
Uh,
The pipe, isn't it?
this pipe.
So it was
Mm,
rubber between the pipe and the fuel line. And
yep.
that was the initial consequence. Now, which
Mm-hmm.
one was the subsequent consequence? And the
Mm-hmm.
major problem, well, that it progressively
Mm-hmm.
caused to, well, to detach. That means to, in this case, start leaking and it begins to rupture.
Exactly. Mm,
And well, after 2 hours, the aircraft was completely out of fuel and it was just gliding silently through the night sky. So, in this part, in letter B, we have the schedule of the Airbus register. So, you might remember in here,
uh-huh.
it starts at 4:38 in the morning and
Exactly.
it ends at 6:46 in the morning. So, that means everything happens at night.
Mm-hmm.
And what we were supposed to do was to complete with this paragraph A, B, C, and D according to the schedule. So at 4:38, and I'm going to start reading the schedule. So you help me reading the letters in the order you did, okay? So 4:38, the flight data recorder registered an abnormal increase in the fuel consumption. At
Uh-huh.
this stage, however, this slight anomaly was insufficient to cause warning lights to come on to alert the crew to any imminent danger.
Danger.
Then
Exactly.
at 4:58.
458 is the paragraph with letter B.
Mhm.
During a routine instrument check, the crew noticed a disproportionate amount of oil had been used by each engine. Oil pressure and temperature readings for each engine were also irregular, but the levels were found to be within acceptable parameters.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Then, almost 30 minutes later, 35 minutes later, at
Mhm.
5:33, a warning message came up. alerting the crew to imbalance between the amount of fuel in each wing tank. Initially, the problem was thought to be an instrument malfunction, but
Uh-huh.
further analysis by the crew revealed that the amount of fuel remaining in the right tank was significantly below the planned quantity.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Then what
Okay.
happened 3 minutes later?
Later, warning, five, oh, 05, 33.
Uh-huh.
No, this is a warning message came up alerting the crew that in an imbalance between the amount of fuel in each wing tank. Initially, the problem was thought to be an instrument malfunction, but further analysis by the crew revealed that the amount of fuel remaining in the right tank was significantly below the planned quantity. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Later is 05 36.
Mhm.
In this case, the sequence is the letter D,
Mhm. Yes.
where the crew decided to take action to correct the anomaly, opening a crossfit valve to transfer fuel from the left tank to the right tank is
Okay.
the proposal.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Then, almost 10 minutes later at 5:45, as a precaution, the crew decided to divert to the nearest airport, the largest military airbase in the Azores.
Exactly.
And then what happened at
And
6:13?
13, okay. In 613, I found the sequence. It was the letter B, the letter A. An alarm
Uh-huh.
sounded, a red master warning light lit up, and the message engine one fail came up on the screen. Second letter, the right engine flamed out due to insufficient fuel.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm,
Then, some 13 minutes later at 6:26 a.m., the
mhm,
engine 2 fail appeared and the left engine cut out. Having
uh-huh,
completely run out of fuel, with both engines now down, the Airbus A330 was gliding,
mhm.
descending at 2,000 feet per minute.
Exactly.
What happened 1 minute later?
And 0627 is
Mhm.
the letter is the last letter C.
Mhm.
And as the aircraft was now powerless and potentially uncontrollable, an emergency ram air turbine was deployed automatically to generate backup electrical power for the fly-by-wire controls and instruments. However, with the main hydraulics shut down, the flaps and spoilers used to slow the plane before and after landing were inoperable. The copilot calculated the plane could remain airborne for 15 20 minutes to 20 minutes, and that Lake's airbase was an estimated 20 minutes away. Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Now, the problem was that now they were without fuel, without power, and the airport, the nearest airport, was 20 minutes away.
Mhm.
And the copilot calculated that they could remain
Mhm.
gliding or floating for 15 to 20 minutes. So they almost
Yes.
reached to the airport. Then it
Yes.
says
Uh-huh.
6:46. With the airport in sight, the landing gear was lowered manually. The
Exactly.
pilot then
Uh-huh.
performed a series of spectacular zigzag maneuvers to
Exactly.
slow down the plane as much
Mhm.
as possible.
As much as
The
possible.
aircraft touched down on the runway at 370 kilometers per hour,
Kilometers per hour.
exceeding the standard approach speed over 100 kilometers per
Oops.
hour.
Exactly.
So it almost 4 times as fast. The pilot
Exactly.
applied emergency braking, causing several tires to blow out and
Oof.
catch fire, but the
Yeah.
plane stopped safely well before the end of the runway.
Spectacular. Yeah.
So it's almost one of the most. I don't know if you have seen like the awesome landings in difficult
No.
situations
No.
of some aircraft.
Me.
For example, when there's a lot of wind, when there are like in fire actually, and they just
Mhm.
land. So that's like a lot of incredible and fantastic maneuvers that the
Mhm.
pilots do in order to try to save the people and save the plane.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, in this case, it's important that the training of the pilot
Yes.
because is really really amazing. No,
Mm-hmm.
I think I
Of
think.
course they do too. So, getting some vocabulary from this word, let's turn the page to letter C.
Mhm.
Now it says make opposites in the following words using the prefixes in the box. So you might remember, and I might tell you and remember you that a prefix,
Mhm.
as it's shown in here, a
Well, in
prefix.
this case, I understand prefix with the first three letters. No prefix.
Yes, I
Okay.
mean it's something that goes before.
Okay. Okay.
So let's look at the word in here. Let me make a small zoom. There it is.
All right.
So it says
Better.
up, this, in times four, ear,
Mm-hmm.
mal, over, and on. All these prefixes are used to make negative statements. So, for example, correct, incorrect. It's the opposite. So we have to get the opposite statement of the next 10 words. Undersized, adequate, detected, normal, sufficient, proportionate, regular, balanced, function, and operable. Okay?
Well, in this case, undersize uh, for an I understand with antonym opposites like oversize, oversize,
In this
undersize.
case, oversized. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the opposite, as you said, of under, over.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let me write in here, oversized.
Mm-hmm.
And we can cross over.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Then number three, we have adequate.
well, in this case, adequate. It must be inadequate or not.
Well, in this case, I'd rather use
Okay,
inadequate.
inadequate. Okay, okay. All right, inadequate.
So remember, we can use in 4 times. We already use
Uh,
one.
yes. Okay. Okay. All right. The number four is detected. Uh, undetected. Is undetected.
Undetected,
Mhm.
exactly. Undetected.
Okay.
And we cross
Mm,
on.
yeah. The number five is normal.
Mhm.
Abnormal. Abnormal.
Abnormal, yes.
This is very common. This is very common. Number six, sufficient, insufficient. No.
Insufficient, yes. Exactly. So we now use twice in.
Mm.
Then we have
Uh,
proportionate.
proportionate is in proportionate. Oh yes or no?
Nope.
No. Disproportionate. Disproportionate. Yes.
Disproportionate, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Disproportionate. And
Uh,
we cross this.
regular. Mhm. Irregular is irregular. No. Irregular.
Irregular.
Yes.
hmm
Uh, balance is imbalance. Imbalance.
Imbalance, yes.
Yes. Function, in this case, is malfunction.
Function, malfunction. Yes.
Mhm. And operable is inoperable.
Inoperable. And that's the last in that we use.
Exactly.
Perfect. So these are prefixes, well, the opposite words of these statements, so
Mhm,
that you
mhm.
can gather a little bit more of vocabulary.
Okay. No, this
Mhm.
is okay. That's right. Very
Okay,
good.
may I erase it?
Yeah, please.
Perfect. And now let's finish letter D before we go to number 10. It's exercise number 10. It says letter D in here. Complete the
Mhm.
following sentences using the words in exercise 9C. Sometimes more than one word is possible. Now
Mhm.
we're going to use these words in here, the ones that we just used before.
Mhm.
In this case, the opposites, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
Mhm.
the set and stuff, no, the
Mhm, mhm,
positive. We're
mhm.
going to use them to, well, in this case, give the description to this
Okay.
problem.
Mhm.
Let's take a look at number one. It
Okay.
says, the
Mhm,
temperature gauge was faulty.
mhm.
That's why it was giving
Green,
readings.
abnormal readings or
Abnormal, yes. It's a
yes.
possible, yes, abnormal.
Mhm. Yes.
Or we can also use, for example, incorrect.
Okay. Okay.
But both of them are correct. Could you please read number two?
Okay. The shaft was thinner than it should have been. So if strange was uh, is the shaft was thinner.
We're talking about strength.
Yeah, strange is just like okay, insufficient. No.
Insufficient. Yes. Or there's another one. Which one?
Mm, sufficient. No, I don't remember. Inadequate.
Yeah.
Inadequate.
Inadequate.
Yes. Yes.
Both of them are
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Then the third one says that the power output from the motor varies. We don't understand why it's.
Mm-hmm. Power out another barriers. Okay.
That means that it's not constant,
Mhm. Not constant is irregular.
irregular.
Mhm. Yes, not constant.
Four.
The pulse is too big to fit into the hole. It's oversized
The
or
bolt oversized.
yes,
Exactly.
because undersized no. Okay.
Mhm. It's
Number
too
five,
big to fit in the hole. Five.
the machine's not working as it should. Okay. There is some kind of mm, malfunction.
Malfunction,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Number six says the braking force on both front wheels should be the same. There shouldn't be an.
Reinforce braking force on both front wheels. Okay. Should be the same. Okay. Okay. There shouldn't be an mm, irregular. No, no.
We're talking about force, braking force in both wheels. That means we have two
Yes,
wheels,
yes.
but they have different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, from different. In this case, alignment. No, this
Well, that's
alignment.
not one of the words that we have in upside.
All
But
right.
similar to alignment,
Mm-hmm.
what about balance?
Okay. On imbalance.
Imbalance,
Imbalance.
exactly. Because they have not the same force.
All right. All right. That number seven is
Mhm.
the fold was okay. The fold was known the of the maintenance of the maintenance
Mhm.
technician and notice it. The fault was
What happened if none of the technicians notice it?
yeah, well detected. No, undetected.
Undetected, yes,
Undetected.
undetected. And finally, number 8, the control panel isn't working, so you can control the machine. It's totally
Failure. No, it's not working. So you can control the machine. It's totally malfunction. No.
not at
No.
all because you can have control in it.
Ah, good control. Operate? No, not operate.
Inoperable.
Okay, inoperable.
Mhm.
Terrible. Okay,
Perfect. Great.
all
So,
right.
well, in this exercise, I think that you see how we use these words actually to give description of problems. We describe the problem or the situation, and then
Yep.
we sum up. That means we make like a resume of the problem,
Uh,
giving a description in general.
In general, okay.
Okay. So, it's undetected. Why? Because none of the technicians notice it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you use these words to give a general panorama, a general view of the
Mm-hmm.
problem or situation.
Mm-hmm.
And of
Mm-hmm.
course, then you can specify like, it's because this was faulty, because this should be done like this, stuff like that.
Okay, okay. Good. All right.
Perfect. And well, before we continue with the new exercise, talking again about planes and stuff like that, the book suggests us to have an extension activity. And
Okay.
look at that beautiful photo of an airplane. So, as an extension activity, the
Mm-hmm.
book suggests us to have more vocabulary. And in this case, we have the first word in here,
Uh-huh.
flight data recorder.
Okay.
I'm gonna move one by one.
All righty. Here.
That's the vocabulary. Okay, we have flight data recorder, landing gear, ram air turbine, fly-by-wire, flaps, spoilers, and cross-feed valve. Okay,
Okay.
which ones do you know the meaning?
Well, in this case, I understand flight data recorder.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe it must be the register with information of the flight or the airplane. No.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a digital device that records essential data
Yes.
on the aircraft that
Hmm.
can be analyzed by an air accident investigators.
Okay. Okay. It is like black box or
Oh, yeah, similar like that.
okay.
So let's write in here
Digital.
a digital device that records essential data
Essential
on
data.
an aircraft.
Mm,
Mhm. Then we have landing gear. What's a landing gear?
yeah. Well, I understand like landing gear. The landing system.
Mhm. In
Talking
this
about landing
case,
system
which one is a landing system on a plane?
with the tires,
The
tires,
wheels,
the
yes.
wheels. Sorry.
The wheels of an aircraft. That's the landing gear.
Okay, the wheels of the aircraft. Okay.
The third one, it's the ram air turbine.
Well, in this case, sure, air turbine is power or of the power of the aircraft or um,
Mhm.
force of the force of the device. Okay,
It's a
or
propeller-like device
okay,
that, in this case, spins. As you said, like the turbine spins when
Yes,
placed on airflow.
airflow. Okay.
Oh, and airflow that in. Okay.
Mm.
Then we have fly-by-wire.
I understand fly by wire, maybe electrical lines or electrical
Exactly.
wires.
Are the flight controls that
Mhm.
are operated electronically.
Okay, operator electronic. Okay.
Electronically, rather than being mechanical.
All right.
What about flaps?
Oops. Flaps. Maybe is flaps. I understand with the structure uh, of the side structure. Flaps.
Mhm.
Aerodynamic. Yes.
Aerodynamic devices
Mm-hmm.
on the top of the wings. In this case, these ones are the ones that are used to generate uh, downforce so that they can low speed.
Okay. Okay. Downforce. Okay.
What about spoiler? And it's not
Uh,
like the movie spoiler.
spoiler. I think it's a mobile part or in the
Oh,
top or the top.
yes, actually, I misspelled this. A spoiler is the aerodynamic device on the top that is used to generate downforce, like the
Okay.
brakes.
All right.
And the flaps were also aerodynamic devices,
Mm-hmm.
but these devices are on the back
Mm-hmm.
of the wing also. I mean, it's in the same place, but now below. And it's used to increase the lift.
Okay.
Are the ones that you see on the wings that go down and then the plane goes up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. I understand that. Mm-hmm.
And the last one, the crossfit valve. That's the clue, the crossfit.
And in this case, I don't know if this part is an hydraulic part in the aircraft.
Mhm.
Use it for uh, I don't know. Use it for supply force or pressure. I don't know. In this case, CrossFit.
Well,
No, I
in
don't remember more.
okay. In this case, the CrossFit valve,
Mm-hmm.
it's a valve, as it says, that allows
Mm-hmm.
full fuel in this case
Uh,
to be fed from one tank to another.
okay.
Example, if you remember the problem of the Airbus A330, that they
Yes.
send fuel from one engine to another one. That is a CrossFit valve. It connects both engines of the aircraft so that
Mhm.
if there's an engine with less fuel, then the one with more fuel transfers or feds the one with less fuel.
Okay, in this case, it's like an extension of the fuel tank
Yes.
to supply fuel to the aircraft, right? Or
Exactly.
engine. In
It's
this.
like an internal device, an internal valve.
Mhm. All right. Good.
Mhm. Perfect. So let me erase this. And then now we can continue with the book. Okay, it's in here. Exercise 10. And well, in this part now, we're gonna have another conversation between
Uh-huh.
Julia and Alan. Julia is an aircraft service technician.
Wow, this
And
this woman.
Alan, it's a woman, yes.
Mhm.
And Alan is a colleague.
Uh-huh.
So they're talking about a problem with the tires on a plane.
Okay.
So you're going to listen to the conversation and mark the statements if they're true or false. Let's
Mm.
first read the first statement so that we know what we have to listen to. So could you please read the
Mhm.
four sentences?
Yep. Number one, the tire pressures on the block being discussed are okay. Okay. Mhm. And number two, there is 2 liter air inside some of the tires. Okay. Letter three, well, in this case, I think, or I thought, that these tires is filled with nitrogen, but I understand that is air. It's air, right? Okay.
Yes.
Number three, the tire pressures are the same across the aircraft. Okay.
Mhm.
Number four, the degree, okay, of wear across uh, all the tires is the same. Mhm. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So let's listen to the conversation between them and see what happened in here with the problem of the tires in the plane. Listen carefully.
All right.
5.4. Hello?
Hello, Alan. It's Julia. I've just started a landing gear check and found a bit of a problem with some tires. All the pressures on one of the wing blocks are well down.
On the same block?
Yeah, on all the other blocks they're correct. So it seems odd that this one group of tires on one corner of the aircraft are all low. And the strange thing is, they're down by exactly the same amount on every tire on the block.
I see. You're right, that is unusual.
The wear rate's consistent across the whole aircraft though. There's nothing unusual about the wear pattern.
Are you sure the pressure gauge is working properly?
Well, to be honest, you can tell just by looking at the tires that they're down.
Right. Let me come out and have a look.
Okay. Now let's do listen the conversation again. But now let's go to page. Let me see which one is it? It's page 90 90 actually. Okay. Page 90.
Ready?
Well, it's in here. I have it on the screen actually because I remember you
Okay.
do not have the book.
Okay.
So let's listen and read the conversation.
Okay.
5.4. Hello?
Hello, Alan. It's Julia. I've
Okay.
just started a landing gear check and found a bit of a problem with some tires. All the pressures on one of the wing blocks are well down.
On the same block?
Yeah, on all the other blocks they're correct. So it seems odd that this one group of tires on one corner of the aircraft are all low. And the strange thing is, they're down by exactly the same amount on every tire on the block.
I see. You're right, that is unusual.
The wear rate's consistent across the whole aircraft though. There's nothing unusual about the wear pattern.
Are you sure the pressure gauge is working properly?
Well, to be honest, you can tell just by looking at the tires that they're down.
Right. Let me come out and have a look.
Okay. So,
5.4.
oh, okay, there it is. So let's go back now to our book again in here. It was page 3 something.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh, it's in here. So the problem right now in here is that true or false? The first statement says the tire pressures on the
Okay.
block being discussed are okay.
It's true. Well, I understand that the pressure is
Well down.
well down. Yes.
Exactly. So they're not okay. That's false.
That's all. Yes. Okay.
The pressure is well down.
Right, all right.
Oh, well down.
Not many displaces. Okay. False. The pressure is well
Mhm.
down. Oh, okay, okay. I understand.
Number 2, there is too little air inside some of the tires.
There is two little air inside some.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's true.
It's
It's true.
true.
Yes, it's true.
Number 3, the tire pressures are the same across the aircraft. Remember, they
No,
were talking about groups or
Mm.
blocks.
no, in this case, I remember with just one group. It's low.
Exactly.
It's low, no? It's false,
It's
yes.
false. And as you said, only one group
Uh-huh.
of tires is low. And number 4, the degree of wear across all the tires is the same.
Yes, it's the same. It's true, right?
It's true. Yes. Perfect. Let me erase this. And let's continue with number 10b. Now, in letter 10b, we have to complete the sentences using words in exercise 9. Okay, so we go back to these words, okay, to incorrect, disproportionate, and stuff like that.
All right, all right.
Using now the problem of the tires. So for example, number 1 says, the tire pressures on the block being discussed are
Normal.
abnormal. Which other word do you think would be right for this?
Maybe incorrect.
Incorrect, yes. Both of them are correct.
Yes.
2, could you please read it?
There is a pressure inside some of the tire. Insufficient.
Insufficient
Yes, because it's
or inadequate.
okay.
3, the tire pressures on that block are to the rest of the aircraft.
The block. All right. Disproportionate.
Disproportionate, yes, because it talks about
Yes.
the difference between the blocks.
All right.
And number 4, please.
Okay. The wear rate is across all the tires. Well, in this case, before is disproportionate, and so in this case is proportionate.
Proportionate, yes, exactly. Perfect, proportionate. And you write it down in here.
Across all the tires. Okay.
May I erase it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Insufficient.
Perfect. And well, it says in here, Impera discuss the possible causes of insufficient tire pressure in general and the specific problem of Julia described in the last exercise. Now, why do you think it happened? I want you to think about the cause of the problem. The consequence was that the tire pressure was well down. But why? I mean, which one do you consider are the facts that contribute the tire, the block of tires to well down?
Okay. Was in this case, I think is the proportion of the pressure in the tires. Thinking about is maybe the technicians should be well, should be with attention in that case in one inspections.
Okay.
Because that kind of fires I consider it might be progressive way or in one period, and I don't know, maybe it could be also with the where um, and I consider the technician must do one inspection or I don't know one routine.
Okay.
Uh, I think it's that no for
Yes.
that.
And that was great because you use the vocabulary of it could be, it might be, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to what we have to do when we want to go out on vacations and we are going to drive. Before we go out, we always go to check the tires, the pressure, the oil.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's
yeah.
similar to this, but of course in big proportion. So as you said, this pressure, this well down pressure, could be caused actually
Okay,
by pressure.
exactly.
Oh, I didn't write P. By pressure loss
Pressure
over
loss.
the
Okay,
time.
okay.
Okay, and it's common. I mean, all tires lose air pressure progressively, as you said, after
Oh,
several months and stuff, due to inadequate
inadequate.
maintenance.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Inadequate
Mhm.
maintenance.
Maintenance and a slow puncture. Okay, that will be like the cost. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
it's not because of the airplane, but because of the pressure, and of course the technicians that do not check a lot.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Now, and I want to continue talking actually about this one. Before we go to the last part of the unit 5, we're gonna move to our last extension activity.
Mhm.
And it says extension activity, technical problems. That's what we
All
are going to
right.
talk right now. Technical problems. So I want you to think of a technical device or a technical installation that you are familiar with. And I want you to make a list of several technical problems that could occur with it.
All right.
Okay, like a phone, a tablet, a laptop, or maybe
Good.
something in your work area, a machine, a device, or
Mhm.
something. And it says in here, you should begin by describing the problem as symptoms. For example, it's overheating, it keeps cutting out, and you should also suggest possible causes of the symptoms using the phrases that it's possible, it could be, it
It
might
could be
be,
yes.
it's probably, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you an example. Oh, oh, here it is. For example, oh, what did I did?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know what did I paste in here. Okay,
Okay. It's okay.
I play like the video of the
Boeing. Boeing 73.
yes. Yes, because we're gonna watch a video just to finish the
Okay.
lesson today. Well, as I was telling you, the technical problem. So I put in here an example.
Uh-huh.
It's a technical IT problem. So let's talk about computers. It says, my computer is running too slowly. And I
Okay.
think this is a common problem nowadays that we have a home
Mm-hmm.
office. My computer is running too slowly. So,
Yes.
okay, let's start thinking.
Uh-huh.
Well, these could be, you see the vocabulary,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
this
Uh-huh.
could be a simple
Simple
fix.
fix.
Are
Okay.
you running multiple programs at
Well,
once?
exactly.
Scheduled system scans or updates can also
Mm-hmm.
cause slow performance.
Oh.
This slowness could be caused by viruses and malware. In
Mm-hmm.
that case, disconnect from any network and let your IT help desk deal with it.
Okay.
So I have in here my possible causes,
Mm-hmm.
malware, virus, or schedule updates or multiple programs. And I have, in this case, like a possible solution. Well, disconnect
Mm-hmm.
from any network and let your IT help desk deal with it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
something like this is what you what I want you to do. Okay. But actually, this is gonna be your homework. Okay. I want you to think in a technical problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand. Yes.
And
Okay.
just before we finish, I want you to show this 5 minutes video,
All
well,
right.
6 minutes video.
Good.
This is an
Oh my
airplane
God.
engine.
Okay, and it's about airplane. I mean,
Mhm.
we have been talking about airplanes crash and stuff like that.
Oops.
So I want to show you a well-detailed example and
Mhm.
examination investigation of an airplane crash that happened like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Okay.
and I want you to look at how they describe the problem, how
Okay.
they describe the competence between companies, and stuff like that. Okay,
All right.
and well, I'm gonna stop recording this right now.